Really? Really? That's what we're doing?
Hello, is it we you're looking for? Black love is in your eyes on a Saturday night. Ah.
Is that what you're doing, honey? Happy Saturday.
I'm sorry. I changed the song on you.
You really did.
Come on in the room.
Look at
Come
Lena.
on in the room. Jesus is my doctor. He writes out all my scripture. He makes everything better when he's in the room.
That's not the word. But that's okay. We on live. All that barking is real silly. Go on. So crazy stuff.
I forgot the last time. I forgot to go.
He brings all of my
medicine to the room. That's what it is.
In the room.
I drew a blank. So I mean,
let us know.
I did good for the last little words.
You did.
Right.
Tell us where you're from. Look on the screen. Look where they're from on the screen. AP Kids Day.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what he told you. Said it's gonna get beat up by somebody. He said, "You don't know me. I'm from AP Kids Day." That was hilarious.
Okay, buddy.
AP Kids Day.
Yeah, go on, AP Kids Day.
And the Richmond Heights stood up and said, "I don't care where you're from. When I see you, gonna be some furniture moving." And miraculously, about 2 seconds later, I was just playing. I was tripping. Help me, Jesus. Help me.
You gonna need it.
Oh boy. So how's your Saturday going, Lena? And I see other people on. Say hello. Let us know you're here. How's your Saturday going right now? We're gonna be talking about love. Oh, Keisha Cole got one song.
Love me.
Oh Lord.
Richmond Heights. There you go. Behind every good woman is some Richmond Heights. Richmond Heights, Florida. We up in here.
Behind every good woman is some Richmond Heights.
Yeah, you know what it is. We in here. We everywhere. It's a takeover. Yeah, like that. Richmond and the Heights.
Child.
You already know what it is. You know what it is. You know what we do. And everything like that.
Y'all see, but we missing one half of the dynamic duo, but that's it's gonna be Marc and Mildred from Love Alive. The Love Tribe, Love Alive, all them tribes. How you doing, Mildred?
I'm doing great. Great.
We can't hear you, Chad.
You can't hear me?
Maybe it's us. Okay, it was us. I ain't have my volume up.
Oh, okay.
Don't do that, Cedric. He laughing at me. What Lena say? That ain't what I said, but it's what she said. Oh,
yeah.
We outside at the beach. Oh, look at y'all at the beach. Well, thank y'all for tuning in
at the beach.
At the beach.
All right. Why we ain't go to the beach?
Did you want to go to the beach?
I would have rather been at the beach.
Shut your mouth.
But hey.
Don't you hear how you gonna be petty, Mildred, and tell my business?
I'm gonna sip my water. I ain't gonna say that.
Sipping your tea.
Yeah, leave that right there.
You're probably sipping your tea. You might sip your water.
I actually did have some tea last night, and it was pretty good.
What kind of tea you have, baby?
I had apple cinnamon tea. It was yours. I got out of your collection. What you frowning for?
I don't drink apple cinnamon.
Well,
so that must have been that girl tea.
Oh,
I don't like apple cinnamon. Nothing. I had lemon ginger tea. Anybody's about your passion tea?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of cinnamon, but it tastes pretty good.
Mildred make her own tea, her own everything.
Of course, I do.
What's your favorite type of tea?
I like dandelion, actually.
Oh, okay. I've never had that.
Me either. I ain't even ever seen that.
Yeah, I know that was a thing.
Yes, dandelion tea by Traditional Medicinals.
Traditional medicinal. Okay, that's a rhyme.
Mike said plan a retreat.
Mike, we're gonna plan a retreat. We're gonna get it together.
Yeah,
we was trying to let the panorama, not pandemic, but the panorama calm down.
Let Omarion and them go on somewhere.
So now you have both parts of Marc and Mildred. It was 2 names, 1 person. Now you see both of them with an F. on this wonderful Saturday.
Lord have mercy.
And they are family, y'all. They're in Memphis. And I heard them this morning on a way to a conference that we were
Baby, you keep saying morning.
Okay, it wasn't morning. I'm sorry. It was morning for us because we had just got moving.
That's correct.
Okay, so let it be relative, please. Thanks.
Okay.
Jeez. Won't even let me be right once.
Okay, boo.
Okay, thanks. So it was 12 o'clock our time, 11 o'clock their time.
Yes.
We tuned into Zoom as we were going to the conference, and Brother Mark and Sister Mildred was talking about love.
They were defining some things.
What was the title of yours this morning?
How do I love thee?
How do I love
How
thee?
you missed that? Let me count the ways was what he asked someone, was the response from Shakespeare.
So you was paying attention?
I always pay attention.
Because you may like in the beginning you weren't paying attention until you started telling me everything you said. I said, see, you be retaining information when you acting like you be ignoring people.
I listen. You listen more than anything. You learn something.
I can't.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Look at y'all talking this mouth.
Yeah, you learn something.
That's married people stuff right there.
Yeah.
So, what they said, actually, it was quite a few things, and we'll get to them as they begin. But we asked them just a few minutes ago as we were talking. I was talking to Mildred, and I wanted to know if they would come and share.
Right. And
Really?
they were so gracious to join us at the last moment. We appreciate
Cedric
it.
was like, I'm not asking him at the last minute. He might have something to do. I said, can't say nothing but no.
That's correct.
You told
But
me.
like me, he might have been relaxing and rubbing his feet together.
So welcome to Black Love on this, our second Saturday. We are so happy to join you. Join us. You join us. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
What?
Hush. Anyway, I am really excited though for you to explain what you were explaining earlier.
You can tell. You're very excited.
I was excited. I mean, I always like when I hear something that provokes conversation because it made me ask, do we love each other that way? I think that's what I asked you.
I think you really were just questioning, did you love me? It wasn't not us, we. No. That wasn't it. That was what you call self-reflection.
Out loud.
Yeah.
Out loud.
Yes. Hey, well, am I? You examining yourself. But that's a good thing to do.
Anyway.
That's how we grow.
So, can you guys start with this morning and tell us the definition you gave, please and thank you?
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
I'm sorry, not this morning. Jesus.
That's all right.
Take
It
off
was actually morning for us and noon for you all. So,
Correct.
Praise the Lord.
so it's all good. Morning is good.
Right.
So the definition that we have been working from for love is the commitment of my will to another's needs and best interest, regardless of the cost to me.
Woo! That's a doozer right there.
A doozer?
Mm-hmm.
What's a doozer?
I don't know. I just made it up. Now leave me alone.
And the another can be your spouse, your friend, what?
Anything
Anybody, anything that needs love.
Yeah, antibody. You know, I find that interesting because obviously once you said that, it began dialogue with Angela and I, and I brought to her attention that that's actually something that she does quite frequently with people that she's not necessarily friends with.
He said that I shouldn't is what
but
he said.
She does things to help them to her own detriment. So that would be the very definition of that, right?
Well, you know, that's interesting because that's what drew us in another conversation this morning.
Oh, wow.
Because when we look at that definition, and this definition for people of the book is a reflection of the Great Commandment or the reflection of the statement of the Creator. It says he loved so much that he gave all that he had.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And he gave that without condition. So as believers of this, it's our call to aspire to become that.
Yes.
Not saying that we just, boom, we become that. But this is what our goal is to become more like this. So that's why we draw that. Now, if you're a believer, then it has a whole lot of context.
Right.
If you're not a believer, it's still relevant because it is what love is. One of the things we talked about all the definitions, contemporary and ancient definitions of what love is. And we understand that they are relative because they come about because of how people relate and interact.
Right.
If my definition of love is, I love you because you do this for me. I love you because you know how to take care of me. That is my definition of love, but that is not the definition of love that we are aspiring to.
Right.
Oh, now when we do too much of that, as you said, we come to another point in this clarity, because this definition of love comes from a place of wholesomeness and love consideration from the outpour.
I feel like
when
I'm
we deal with other people, and when we deal with other people, there's a question of boundaries. What should I do and why should I do it?
Boundaries.
Yeah, and our love is based on inflow instead of the outflow that we actually give ourselves. You
Say
know?
it again. Okay, hold on. Say it again.
The love that we usually practice is based on inflow, what comes to us, not the outflow.
Right.
You know, because love should be the outflow of what you do. It has nothing to do with what someone else does, actually.
Right.
Yeah,
that is a common.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that's a common reference that we all are familiar with.
Right.
Because when people do things for us, we recognize and identify that as a type of attention that we say, well, they must love me, or you gave me, oh, they love me. Right. Maybe not. But we quickly identify things coming into us, so much so that if we give out to people from our love and then we don't receive back,
that's what's devastating.
We get injured because our expectation is that if we give out love, we should receive love because of the law of reciprocity. And Mildred said earlier today is that the principle of love doesn't change. You should give out, but love does not dictate where the reciprocity will come from.
Ooh.
Right.
So,
that's what you were saying about whether or not we love each other. And I was saying it's okay to want love in return, but you still have to do for your spouse or significant other, not expecting something in return. I mean, it's natural to want it, but that should not dictate what you do if you get it or not. Like, if I see that you need something, I'm going to do it whether I feel like you're giving me what I need at the time or not. I think that's the difference.
And as people of the book, let's look at it from the perspective of what Christ did. Christ was not in relationship with everybody, but he loves everybody.
Right.
He loved everybody enough to hang on the cross and give his life for everybody.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we have to, if we say we are people of the book, then we strive to be as Christ was. And it's possible to become that person. It's possible to walk in love and be love personified. That does not mean that you have to be in relationship with everybody, because you can't be in relationship with everybody. But you can love everybody regardless of themselves. You just accept people for who they are.
Right.
That's hard though. I'm gonna speak for me. It's hard for me. I know one of the problems I have, and I'm still working on it. And Cedric helps me with a lot of this. He said, you can't expect people to respond the way you would. Right. Like, I feel, when somebody needs something, I'm there, I'm doing, all I can. He said, you can't expect people to respond how you do. And I'm always trying to figure out why they did what, like, if they hurt me, why you did what you did, or why you responded, the way you do. And of course, you're never going to know all the answers to that. But that's an issue I have, because even when people wrong me, I still go out my way for them and do for them. And like Cedric said, to my own detriment. So I know that's a a blessing and a curse because I don't know. I say I have boundaries, but I don't.
Right.
Okay, it's a blessing, but it's not a curse. Okay.
Okay.
And so what you just said is that you have no problem in loving.
Right.
Unless you give and you love. What you have a problem is managing your expectations.
Right.
And that is not the same thing as loving.
Of where you receive the where you receive the reciprocity from.
Yeah.
Right.
And that is, see, that's a personal adjustment. And a lot of times we have not been conditioned to process love that way. That's why I brought out the point earlier. Imagine something or someone, when I say something, I'm talking about a pet or something like that you have this type of love for, or child, because it's almost natural to love your child in this way.
Right.
Your will is committed to their best will, their best interests.
Right.
Regardless of what it costs you. You don't have a second, most people don't give that a second thought. Now, if that is what you're capable of doing for your child, if you're capable of doing that for your child, then that's the same thing you should do for other people when you extend love. Does that matter? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And just like, we may have expectations from our children when they come to a certain age, but when they're little, we don't expect them to give back to us what we give to them.
That's true.
Because we understand that we are the capacity for that.
Right.
We have the will, we have the attitude, and we have the understanding to love them.
Right.
Where they are, regardless of the disobedience, the temper tantrums, the inconsideration, the selfishness, all of that.
Selfish. The children have selfishness.
But listen, you can't expect that from when they get grown either.
You shouldn't. But see, we kind of shift because once again, our expectations frame how we define these things. And what we're working on is a conversation to shift the clarity of a definition outside of expectation. Now, we understand that we're not going to change our expectations overnight.
Right.
Right.
But it helps if we get a clear understanding of what a thing means and how it's meant to operate. Because if we don't understand it, then we'll probably misuse it.
Right.
Or we'll be disappointed.
Well, put me in the disappointed category quite frequently.
And that happens. That happens because we've grown to this point. Because I have not been at this place all the time, because the reality is that you can be hurt. And when you open yourself up to love, you have to realize that you really can be hurt, especially if you truly love people.
That's why I say. That's why I say true love comes with a whole level of vulnerability.
Of course,
you can't truly love without being guarded at the same time.
Well, let me say, and words to me are extremely important. True love comes with a level of transparency.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, transparency and vulnerability.
Yeah, I wouldn't
say
the same thing. Vulnerability comes with expectation. Because if you expect something in return for what you're doing, and that's when you're vulnerable. But if you don't have an expectation for what you're doing, then
now vulnerability, the word means that we're open to injury,
right,
and attack. We're susceptible to injury or attack.
I'm saying if you don't expect anything for what you're doing, then you can't be hurt if they don't reciprocate.
Okay, so with your spouse though, you're supposed to expect some things. When we say I do, you're not saying I do is not to expect anything from them. There are things that I expect from you as a husband. There's things you expect me as a wife. Now, those things may be different from what Marc and Mildred have going on, but in a marriage, there are expectations.
But those expectations should be discussed and defined.
They should.
before
but
you get married.
But we talked about stuff before we got married, but there were things that came out and blew a gasket as soon as we got married.
Because we didn't discuss it before marriage. That's why.
And sometimes you don't know. Well,
Right.
sometimes
I'm saying you don't know
until you get.
Sometimes you don't
If
know.
you don't know, you can't
You
discuss
don't know what you don't know.
I don't care how much marriage counseling you do. You don't know what that person gonna do. That it may be something small to anybody else, but it might just be something that just get under your skin that they do every day, all day, or just that drive you nuts. And
Yeah, everybody have their little triggers.
Right.
Plus, you may be in a different place. We have to understand that there may have been a time where that didn't bother me, or that was not a deal breaker, or that was not,
right.
You see what I'm saying? But as I change, my life situations change, my mental state, my health state, those things become, they change. So that's why it's so important in a marriage to keep communication open. Now, this is the difference between vulnerability and transparency. Okay. Transparency allows us to be open to that information. And it doesn't, now the vulnerability, I'm vulnerable to her, but that's not how I define our intimacy. I define our intimacy based on transparency and trust. Now, if trust is lost, then vulnerability becomes a liability.
Oh, there you go.
See?
There you go.
There you go. If we're working on, if we maintain transparency and then we're building trust, then vulnerability is not an issue.
Right.
Because she can't hurt me without hurting herself.
Wow. Okay, we got a comment coming up there.
Chair says, sometimes expectations change as life goes on. Communication is key so that we can be updated on the need and the expectation.
And that's actually very true. Thank you for your comment, because we were talking about what we wanted when we first got married.
Right.
It's so different now. Like, even all these young girls that want to have a husband, they have this long list, and you're going to realize that that's not really that important, sweetie. The stuff on your list is not, that's not what's going to keep you. That's not what's going to maintain a house. That's stuff for other people to see. That's not for, you and I at home. And that's what needs to be on your list for you and I. Because the conference today was about domestic violence. And one lady was saying about how she was saying she put up like 4 or 5 pictures with her ex-husband. And she was like, in each one of those pictures, he had just gotten punched or whatever. She said she never had a black eye or whatever, but she had just gotten beat. And you don't know. I mean, looking at people's pictures, like, oh, that looks nice, or this person looks nice, that couple look nice.
Right.
And she asked everybody to write on the board by these different things. And the pictures was up. And she said she wanted everybody to write what they see. And I put pretending, and I put behind the smile. And she said, who wrote that? Who wrote that? She didn't know. And I said, me. I said, I did something wrong. She said, you saw right through that. But I mean, I didn't know that was her story at the time, but I just know that that's what happens. We put our best foot forward, and we want everybody to see how we're looking good, but at home it's turmoil.
And we do that because in the back of our mind, we're hoping that will make it better. A lot of our relationships are wishful thinking. and I say that.
I don't want a wishful thinking relationship, Jesus.
And I say that because that's why we're drawn to images and pictures.
Right.
Social media. It's why we're drawn to love stories and movies with happy endings.
Right.
Because we all wish for things to work out.
Yeah.
But the workout process is intentional. And until we commit to the process of intentionality, what does it take to get to that? What does it take to address domestic abuse, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, whatever? What does it take to acknowledge and get beyond?
Yeah.
And we need to realize that every one of us who operate and breathe as humans, we have this experience. We are not immune from the human process.
Right.
So what other humans are doing, we all are capable. We all have done something. And the only difference is some of us decide I can't live that way.
Right.
I can't continue. I need to change.
Yeah.
And Annette will say, you know, you get sick and tired of being sick and tired.
That's the only
And
way.
so you make a change. Now, where we step in and where you all step in is that when people want to make a change in relating, we can help you out. We can say some things based upon our experience and our history and our observations that may help you if you're ready to make a change.
If they want to do the work,
If you're willing.
That's the thing. They often will look at our relationships and our conversation, our interaction, because people can tell by your interaction too how you like. Cedric not a big person that be like, you know how you like, he's not. That's not him. But people want. They see our interaction. They okay. I like what y'all have. Like I've even had one girl say, "Yeah, I ain't never had these problems." Yeah, we did. That we just not there now. Thank God. But yes, and this is work.
I had somebody say that to me. Y'all don't have no problem. I said, who told you that?
No, but they said we ain't even. Y'all ain't been through this. You don't know what we. I mean, we tell our stuff, but
now, even if you know, just from the reality is that if you two people that are together, every once in a while you're gonna have a moment.
Correct.
You know, so when people say y'all don't have any issues, who told you that?
But those issues are not dramatic.
No, they're
like theirs, like them knock down, drag out. That's why.
Right.
Well, but that's a choice. That's a choice based upon what you know and what you decide to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because now the commonality of life, and I tell people all the time, you don't have to get married. You don't have to have children. But if you choose not to get married, I don't mean live together. I mean actually do a covenant commitment.
Right.
If you never get married and if you never have children, there are some things in life you will never know.
Right.
Because those status causes us to go through some things.
Yeah.
And common things. Now, we sometimes end up in different places based upon how we dealt with those things. But everybody who's ever been married can relate to what that means. Everybody who's ever had a child and in the process of raising and rearing children, you can relate.
Yeah.
There's some commonality. So yeah, if you've done that, you're just like me.
So
I'm just like you.
You mentioned about some love songs this morning. So I was thinking about there's an old song say, I want to know what love is and I want you to show me.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fair? Is that we're doing it based upon, we know songs are good and we sing them and all that stuff, but in a marriage, in a relationship, is that accurate? Is that an accurate statement? Should I be wanting you to show me?
Okay, that was a big hit. That was a big hit in
The Foreigners, yes.
The Foreigners, was that in the 90s, late 80s?
That was late 80s.
Look, he know all that. Now this he's talking his stuff.
Late 80s.
Foreigners actually did that.
Is that a bad thing?
No, it's not a bad thing. But I'm still thinking about the Foreigner. There's a bit of trivia. Do you know the choir that sang on that song? Do you know who that was? That was a New Jersey mass choir.
Are you serious?
Serious.
I believe it.
Because
Because you can hear the choir.
And if you listen close, the background lead vocals, they're the people in the choir. So I mean, yeah. But
wow,
that's
you know what? You always him and Jared come up with some more random facts that you never know. That you be like, I know something. People like, how do you know that? Right. I be like, Mark and Jared. Look, Mark and Jared.
No, I know that because I'm a musician and that's my business to know that. So I had to know
but
that.
That is, I never knew. And listen, we listen to all those 80s ballads and stuff because Cedric look, my kids was in school and they listen to that stuff and you know, the teachers like, how do you know that? This ain't your age. They're like, my dad, we listen to everything in the house. We're eclectic.
Back to the lyrics. Now this is a point about that song and an excellent example. When Foreigners came out with that song and it was a hit, it was a secular hit. And when they sang, I want to know what love is, I want you to show me. That was a conversation, that was a horizontal conversation between a man and a woman.
Right.
Now, New Jersey Mass released that song on their album, their gospel album.
Oh, wow.
When they sing it, They're talking
Right.
a vertical relationship.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't know.
So what
Listen.
you have to, what perspective is everything. So
Right.
now all the love songs that we sing have an application, but what determines that application is where am I standing? Am I standing in a place of dysfunction?
Right.
Am I standing in a place of injury, need, or am I standing in a whole place of wholeness? So all of the love songs are relative.
Right.
When Al Green said, "Love will make you do wrong," make you
Listen, that's facts.
Stay
I
out
don't care.
all- stay
I don't
out
care
all
what you're
night
talking
long.
about. Listen, I don't care what
stay
you're
out,
talking about.
come home early, stay out. All of that's true. All of that is true.
Yes, it is.
But it's
It
not
make you do
true.
wrong, and it make you do right.
Yeah. See, so and the good thing about it, and that sometimes we don't acknowledge, is in our literature and in our songs, these writers have poetic license. They're actually writing lyrics and singing lyrics to express how they feel.
Right.
It doesn't make it a fact.
Right.
But a lot of us have based our definition of love and happiness on these lyrics.
All right, going to another song for you.
Mhm.
It said, I'd rather have bad times with you than good times with someone else. I'd rather be beside you in a storm than safe and warm by myself.
Yeah, that sounds good. That'll cause moistness right there.
There you go.
Whoa, wait.
So basically, that's the lyrics for lubrication.
Yes, yeah, and that's why the songwriter wrote them.
You know what? I'm not talking to y'all no more. Y'all know that.
Well, I mean, that's the whole point. But see, look,
I understand about the songwriter, but in a relationship, that would be unhealthy.
Now, set the lyrics again.
I'd rather have bad times with you than good times with someone else. I'd rather be beside you in a storm than safe and warm by myself.
Right.
I think that depends on the two people. Because let's say hard times come. Would I rather have good times with somebody else? Or would I rather go through the hard times with him? You see what I'm saying?
Perspective.
So it's all about perspective. Who are you with?
And how are you? Are you healthy?
And right, is your relationship healthy and strong?
Right.
Because I'm just going to say this because there was a time in our marriage that we were going through some things, and I remember actually almost saying those exact words. And you know, I know about the song, but I wasn't listening to that at that particular time. And I told him, I said I would live in a log cabin with you.
Woo! You better.
As long as we love each other and we got each other's back, you know, so it's all about perspective. How is your relationship strong and healthy enough that you want it to continue? Are you willing to go through the hard times with each other? Because sometimes we jump ship at the wrong time.
Let's just say we jump ship, not we.
I'm just saying
people jump ship.
I'm just saying we jump ship.
We
jump ship for the smallest matters. So for somebody to say, I'm with you through thick and thin, I'm with you through the good times, the bad times, because it's easy to and we said this morning, it's easy to say, I love you. What you doing? It's easy to say, I love you, those three words, and we use them all the time. But I was going through school, and the question was, what is love? And the young people were giving all these love, and I was in my 30s. We were married. And they were giving all these definitions of what love is. And it came to my mind, love is not love until it has really been tested. Oh. Because if you haven't gone through the test of love, something that's going to test it and see if it can survive, then you don't know whether you really love someone or not.
And that's a response to, I want to know what love is. I want you to show me. So the question is, are you ready for the test?
Right. Ooh. Well, what I told Angela when she said that is that even inadvertently, when you're in a relationship, you're always showing somebody something anyway, good or bad. So whether you're doing it on purpose or not, the way you treat them, the way you respond to them, the way you are attentive to their needs shows them something.
Wow. Listen, and then Jennifer Hudson got a song saying, she wasn't her person. It was
she remade it, but yeah.
But I'm telling you, I'm not going
anywhere.
I'm not living without you.
You gonna love me.
you're the best man I ever know. Well, maybe you ain't the best wife or best woman for him because you gonna Debo him in the stand with you.
You gonna love me.
And once again, see, because the song is good, the lyrics is good, the voice, and that was I just lost her name.
Jennifer Holiday or something.
It was Jennifer
Holiday.
Yes. And you saw the movie, Dreamgirls. You saw the situation she was in. That was a very dysfunctional relationship.
Yes.
Right.
But we turn around and we're going to adopt that to our relationship because it sounds so good and was so passionate.
Right.
And we want that passion in our relationship. It's like, there's dysfunctionality that it doesn't matter if we fight as long as we're together. It doesn't matter if we throw some blows. That must mean we really love each other.
Yeah.
So and that's in our culture.
Yeah, I never understood that. I had people that I knew that they would be like, breaking each other's stuff and throwing the clothes and bleaching the clothes. I'm like that. No, I'm not doing that. If you don't want to be with me, that's fine. But that costs money.
That's Fantasia. If you want me, then don't talk to me.
Yeah, we work for a living. We ain't got time to be replacing stuff because you got mad. Let me go on about my business and you find somebody else to break their stuff.
So listen, Aerosmith got one say, I don't want to miss a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it started off with, I can stay awake just to hear you breathing.
Mm-hmm.
That's some deep love right there.
That sounds very stalkerish to me.
But
listen,
but it wouldn't have. But do you remember the time I told you I was just sitting there watching you sleep? And I said, we've been together over 20 years, and I never, ever, and I don't know why I was just like,
I called OPD and I said, if something happened to me.
Hold on, let me back up again. With
I started watching him. I don't know how, but it was more like a Lord, I'm thankful for this man that you gave me, and I don't know how my life would be without him. But it was just to see him get rest. It was just a whole bunch of stuff that you'd have told me I would have been sitting there watching you sleep. I'd have been like, you nut, I got stuff to do. I'd be sleeping myself, but I did. And this was in the lab with like a month or two, right?
Oh no, this was a while back. This wasn't
like 3 months ago.
Yeah, maybe 4 months.
Little bit of trivia on that. And
Aerosmith?
Yes. Okay, now Steven Tyler didn't write that song. But
I don't know.
Steven Tyler is the lead singer for Aerosmith.
No, I know. Listen.
No,
who wrote the song?
I don't know.
Okay, her name is, and I was trying to jog it. Jennifer. It'll come to me. It was a female who wrote the lyric. But see, we can identify with that time because that lyric was not about stalking.
Right.
That lyric was about two people from our generation being on the telephone, holding the line open and
you sleep. I ain't sleep.
Right.
You hang up. Now you hang up.
You see what I'm saying? So that lyric is that old.
I forgot about that. You
Yeah.
sleep.
You see what I'm saying? And you would stay. You would hold that line open, even if the other person got quiet and they were just breathing.
But isn't that funny? Like y'all have really put things in perspective because, like, I mean, I would rather have bad times with Cedric than good times with somebody else because I know that nobody's going to have my back like him. And then, but just listen to the lyrics of the song, I would have said something different. And then
you thought it meant something bad instead of something good.
Right. Like dysfunction almost.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mark said you're trying to get some moisture going on. That just sound good.
It definitely sounds good.
It does. It's a lot of songs that sound good. This is crazy. What's that one you call a stalker song?
Oh, in my mind, I'll always be your lady. She told me I went by your mama house the other day. She said you were doing okay or doing well or something.
Cedric said that sounds like a stalker. Yeah, I've never heard it.
In my mind?
What we in a relationship got built to her.
I guess. Now you ain't seen me, but in your mind, we still together.
Hey,
that's a problem. Yeah, I need to go to the courthouse and get some paperwork on that.
I gotta find that. Gotta find the new song with who is it? New Jersey Mass Choir. Who you just said?
New Jersey Mass Choir. But you know, Jaheim got a song like that too, where he said he's gonna find his way back to, no matter how long it take, you'll always be my baby, whatever. Like, yeah, sometimes relationships don't work out. You got to move on, player.
Listen, while we was up all night, I went to bed at 5:30. But while I was up, we went back through our songs, and all on Cedric's side, ain't nothing but 70s, 80s. We in there with ballads.
Power ballads.
He the Eyes of Brothers, Lost and Turned Out, Foreigners. What's the guy named? I can't think of. But we were talking about songs and lyrics. We like, because now I listen to songs and I hear lyrics I didn't hear before. I don't know if I wasn't paying attention, just the beat. But now I'm like, that was clever. Or they talk about, like back then they was talking about sex and you didn't know it because they were so smooth with their words.
They were poetic. They were poetic. And
Really?
they didn't have to be as actual and frank.
I mean, now it'd be
yeah,
so bad.
But see,
like,
now that to me that doesn't take any thought. Like you just say whatever, and people are like, oh yeah, no, I don't like it.
Listen, it be too much sometimes.
Yeah, I like some, make me think a little bit. Be clever. Think about what you're doing. Don't just go in there and just start writing stuff on a napkin.
Let's do it. Do it hard. Do it real hard. Do it real hard. Boom, boom, boom. Do it hard. Ooh, 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 ooh. Do it.
I don't want that. I don't like that.
You don't want that one?
Nah.
So, if a relationship, somebody's married, let's just say, and their relationship does not measure up to the definition of love that you gave, how would you suggest them go about working to fix it? Because I know that we found our place in the first 5 years where we didn't know how to fix it. We knew that it was broken, but we didn't know how to fix it or where to start. So,
well, really for us, we got help because we didn't know how to fix it either. I think, unfortunately, many of us don't see a need to seek out assistance and to get help. And I think we talked at one time about how often people say, I don't want anybody in my business. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Can't nobody tell me how to treat my wife. Can't nobody tell me how to treat my husband. I know what I'm doing. Well, you might, but the reality is you might not either. So seeking help. And I feel like if we had not sought out wise counsel, not just any kind of help.
Right.
But just seeking out wise counsel for someone to speak life into your relationship and give you some tools, because there are tools.
Was it Christian counsel? Was it church counsel? Outside? What kind of counsel did you seek?
It was both and. It was outside.
Both and.
Yes. And the reason why I say that is because it was not somebody that, it was somebody that could be unbiased and not churchy. You understand what I'm saying? Not too.
So the both and was one person?
It was yeah, it was one group. It was a couple.
Okay.
Let me say that. It was a couple that really ministered to us in a way that would help us to move forward in our relationship. Does that make sense?
Yes. And so we did both.
We did the same thing,
but we did regular counseling, like by a counselor for 2 years every week on Monday. I remember that.
Yeah.
We were taking our children for something. Sean, he was having a hard time with his grandparents that wasn't accepting him being biracial and all this other stuff. So we was taking him, and then we were having some really rough time, and we started talking. So Sean would go first, and then we would come in, and then even when we didn't have a problem, that issue that was going right then, we still went. It taught us how to continue to learn one another, to talk. Because I used to be like, well, he didn't do this. She said, but you told him what you wanted. Because he didn't do it, the steps that you wanted him to do it, he still made the change. And what I was looking for was, I'm telling you what I need and how you need to do it. And it's not my place to tell you how to be a man. I'm telling you what I need. And he made it happen. But I wasn't satisfied enough because it wasn't the way I told you to do it. And it took somebody else to tell me, girl, shut up. The man did the change that you asked him. They were like, what did you need from him? I didn't ask you that. Did he do that? Yes. So what problem? When he didn't do it this way, they were like, but did he do it? And I was like,
and in marriage, one of the questions that I have personally started to ask couples is this: do you have a good wife? Is she a good woman? Is your husband a good man?
What if
then
they
you
say
can,
no?
how do you know? You know whether you have a good man
No,
or a
I'm
good
saying,
woman.
what if they say no? Because at the time, I probably would have said no in the beginning.
Well, but the couples that we have come across is this. They may have communication problems. They really can't get it together. But if I ask them, do you have a good husband? Is he a good man?
Not if
Not-
you like him.
Not
or
if you like him, but is he a good man? And the question and the answer is usually yes.
Yes.
If I ask them, is your wife a good woman? The answer is usually yes.
She
And
aight.
if you have a good man and you have a good woman, there is nothing that the two of you cannot work out. There is absolutely nothing. You may need to connect with someone that's going to provide you with the tools that you can use to get to the next phase of your life. And
Right.
most marriages, from what I have gathered or what we have gathered and come across, it's all about communication.
Yes.
It's all about communication and whether I can, as you were saying earlier, whether I can get him to see or know what I'm trying to get and do it with clarity so he can
Yeah.
understand what it is that I need.
Because often we'll tell them we need them to do something for us, but we don't know what it is that we need. So how we expect them? That was another issue that I had.
Well,
Go
that's
ahead.
the other thing. Sometimes if it's not communication, it's managing unrealistic expectations or expectations that weren't communicated. Like you expect somebody to do something and they're not doing it, but you never communicated that. So then you're frustrated and feel some kind of way because they're not doing whatever you need. But have you ever told them that? Well, no. So how do you expect them to know
Well, you know
what you need?
Well, my dad, I used to get mad at you about stuff my dad did.
Right.
And he didn't live in the house with his dad. You know what I'm saying? So like what I all men do that. This is me to him. All men do that. Like I was attacking his manhood, telling him what he wasn't doing and that all men do that and he should know that. I mean, Of course, now 50,000 years later, but then he was taking gut punches with his ego because I was just tearing it up. I didn't know I was tearing it up, but I was tearing it up.
Well, but you know, we all know how to give body shots. We know how to hit below the belt. We know because we know the reaction.
Right.
So we know what we're doing.
Right.
And when you ask the question, do you have a good man or a good woman? And you say, what if they say no? Now, the fact is, you may say, yeah, he a good man, but not for me, for somebody else. Yeah, but where did that come from? Because if he's a good man, he's a good man. The question is, do you want to throw away a good man for someone else to get a good man? Or do you want to work on the issues?
They don't want to work.
That's the question. Are you willing to work on your issues?
Yeah.
Okay, this is
good man or this good woman.
So who just popped on the screen? That's one of the classes that we took when we said we did counseling.
Yeah.
And we did regular counseling, and then these ministers. This is a couple. You want to read what Sister Libby said?
Yeah, this is Minister Brown says one of our best helps came through a Christian divorce lawyer. After his counseling, we went searching and studying scripture on our own. We did have some non-professionals who listened, but bottom line, we had to do the work and trust God in who and where to go for a healthy relationship.
Yeah,
that's the thing. People don't want to work.
They don't want to work.
Well, I think people look at the work as a chore. You know how you got to labor in work. But that's not what this is. What this is putting forth the effort, learning what you need to do to really work well with each other. And that's not impossible.
There was a question.
Sometimes when you was thinking, you feel like it. When you're in a bad place, it feel like it's
of course you do.
It's about feelings. There was a question on one of the marriage pages about why do people say marriage is hard? It's hard work. I didn't respond to it because earlier today, someone mentioned, a coach mentioned that the work is not hard if it comes from love. It's work. But if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. You've heard that?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So marriage, if it is based in and built from the principles of love, is not hard work, it's work. You know, we have a garden. We have a garden, right, and it requires work for things to grow and thrive and live.
Right.
It's not hard work because it produces a harvest.
Go ahead.
Work. But hard work is work that I don't want to do.
Right.
When we say something is hard, we don't mean difficult and hard. Then we have to explain, what do you mean by hard? Is it because you don't want to do it? Because you're not making any headway? All of that is pertinent.
All that.
So a lot of times we have to determine, where are we in this equation and not the other person. What is my commitment? Mm-hmm. What am I willing to do? And when the post was talking about counseling, one of the things we recommend is, when people divorce, is that you seek out divorce recovery. I don't know if you've ever.
I just heard that recently, that they have divorce recovery.
Yes.
Now
it's been around.
I just heard it recently. I was listening to somebody's show. Something they try to help you.
Oh yes, it's a whole organization, and
that's a good thing, though.
You should Google it for your area, because in our experience, it has always operated out of the Presbyterian organization.
Okay, Sarah got something to say, and then we got a question.
Okay, they provide these courses, and we recommend it because if you get divorced, you probably want to understand how you got to there before you go back in to do it again.
Right.
And then in divorce recovery, they help you understand what your part was in this. They don't have to talk to both of you, because it's about you working on you. But we highly recommend divorce recovery for someone who's gone.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, that's good. Now, I was saying that when we're talking about that doing the work, we always assume that the relationship is based in love, but a lot of people get married and their relationship is based on service. So I married you because you do this thing that I like. So if you stop doing this thing I like, then that's when it becomes hard to work on a relationship, because I married you because of this thing and you're not doing this thing. So now I'm not enjoying being in a relationship with you anymore.
Right.
And what kind of love is that?
That's not love.
It is a type of love.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know the ways.
Yeah, conditional love, I
guess. That's one of those ways that will not sustain holistic love.
But then that goes back to you depending on the love to work alone. You know what I'm saying? And not that love does not work, but love has to come with other stuff, you know. And then it's somebody was saying, it's a self-reflection. I think that was said a few minutes ago. You have to reflect upon yourself. What is going on within you? And why are you looking for everything to come inside of you before you can love, instead of it flowing out of you and you receiving love?
Right.
All right, so that's a comment on the screen.
Chad says, when I counsel couples, I ask the question, do you know what it's like to be married to you? What does your spouse have to deal with concerning you?
Oh, that's a listen. I threw something at you. You asked me that. I threw something at you. What you mean? That's good.
And that would be that would be enough said.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Listen. Right. My response. Listen. I laugh because Phyllis and Jerry also counseled us, and in the beginning, because we had small kids, we could afford nothing, and we would sit on the couch. And they would give us our thing, and they were like, "Well, Angie, you need to this and then the other." And I was like, "I ain't doing that. You need to fix him." It feels like she was like, "Oh my God, what is wrong with her?" I was really her. Whatever that's why you said, if you said you got a good man, I'd be like, "No." I really would have said no.
And they ask you why? Because he ain't doing what I said.
Doing what my daddy did.
Yeah.
Wow. And somebody said, how we have witnesses to marriage? Like when you get married, you have to have two witnesses. They were saying that you should have those same two witnesses have to witness your divorce.
Yeah,
they are requiring in I heard they were proposing to require a ceremony for approval for divorce in some states.
Yeah, because people get divorced in secret, but they get married and it'd be a big
and that's
flop.
Well, this is the thing. They were saying you should have the people that sign your marriage license going to hold you accountable.
Right.
And then you won't just have anybody sign, because right now they have anybody sign it. Anybody that's there sign it. But if the people that's on the line going to hold you accountable, you'll be cautious about who you have sign your marriage license.
But then you have to be a person that wants to be held accountable too.
Because
I don't care who signs. I don't care who signs on the dotted line. They may be willing to hold you accountable, but if you're not willing to be accountable, then their signature is not going to help you.
Correct.
Because you still got to have a desire.
Oh yeah, a lot of people get counseled that way too. They'd be like, "Well, I'm good. You need to fix them, like Angie was saying, or they want to get an amen on the message they doing and say concentrate on them. They the problem, not me.
That was me. I was telling everybody, every council we went to, fix Cedric. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm telling the truth. I ain't said it in those words, but I said it. You know, it was like they be like, do it. And I be like, well, you know, if he did this, or if it was all on him.
He got daddy issues.
and Angie, and you come to find out that in the reversal of that, when you start mentoring and counseling couples, if one of them shows up and says that, you immediately know where the problem starts.
Exactly.
Listen, it's so funny when they be saying something, I be like, oh. One time I told Phyllis, I said I wasn't that bad. She told me you were the worst we had. Because we usually we recommend don't get somebody like your family. But at the time, that's what we, had. They were trying to help us. Honey, when I tell you I gave them the business, I wasn't studying them. She said I got up and walked out one time. I don't recall that.
Oh yeah, you ain't talked to Phyllis for about 2 months.
It was no 2 months. It was like 2 weeks.
You ain't talked to your sister for a long time.
I talked to my sister almost every day. My sisters, and I didn't talk to her.
I was mad.
Okay, I was mad. I was mad at something Cedric did, and then she was like, "Well, what did he do?" Phyllis is like, "Okay, so let's walk through this." What? And I told her. She said, "No, what did he do to make you mad?" And I had just told her, and she was like, "You mad at that? That's stupid." I was like, "What? Did she just say stupid?" She was like, "Get it together." She was like, "Are you serious right now?" And, she'd be real proper. "Are you serious right now?" I was so mad. Well, I was so ashamed. Jesus, I wanted to just go. Bye. She still never did. I didn't talk to her. I was in the counseling session. You'd have thought to see us here. Phyllis and Jerry always say you couldn't have paid us to believe that we would be here because our sessions was a hot mess. Yeah. And even if you weren't saying, Cedric know how to be like whatever. And so Cedric would say some stuff to me, and when you get to counseling, you have to say it out loud. Tell him what you said, Cedric. He didn't want to say it. He know it sounds bad. Tell him. Yes, on yesterday. At 2:00, tell me what you said.
Yeah, you write it down.
I sure write it down because he'll be like, he like this. I don't remember. I cannot recall. Listen, so then Phyllis be like, "Oh Lord, Cedric, what'd you say?" When he started saying, "I cannot recall, I cannot confirm nor deny." Somebody wrote something on the screen.
Exactly.
That's the truth there.
We've been duped by movies and television.
Mm-hmm.
Many of us haven't experienced or recognized genuine and unselfish love. So our perception of love has to be corrected.
Oh my God! That is the thing. Let's just look, like Jerry said. Let's park on that for a second.
Them movies are the worst.
Look at Chanel up here telling my dad to preach. That's her problem right there. She's stuck on movies because we want the happy ending, but even in those movies, they're not healthy relationships. They're just feel good situations. They're not healthy. You know what I'm saying? And we just want to go through life, but that's not how it's not always a happy ending either.
That's the thing. You go
to
the love story. Oh, go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, I was just saying we call it the influence of romantic notions.
Oh yeah,
because they're in our culture, they're in our literature, and like I say, most of us want to have a good life. We have wishful thinking for our relationship, and we want it to be like what we see.
Right.
And we're conditioned that if we do this and do that, if I get a boombox and stand outside your window and play "Unbreak My Heart,"
love is,
I want to know what love is. That will cement our relationship,
right?
And we'll live happily ever after. And whenever trouble comes, we'll remember that time. No, that
don't work.
No, it doesn't. But we spend more time trying to recreate those things,
right?
And we do putting in a little bit of work that's doable, that costs nothing. We notice a lot of couples that are going through, and sometimes it's so obvious. We'll see them in Bora Bora, or in Jamaica, or in Dubai, and I'm like, how did they even ride that far on a plane together?
Right. Traveling problems.
Yes. But they feel like if we do these things,
it's going to make it better.
It'll make it better.
Or like you said, it's to make other people think that it make it feel
other people. And you're thinking too, because these are the notions that we have been fed as they said by our movies and television, this is what they've told us. That if we
A lot of people don't even know what healthy is, though.
That's the worst. To go on vacation and y'all beefing, that's terrible.
But listen, you know, people say, was the good guys finish last or something like that. The thing that I find is that when girls have somebody that treats them good, they don't want that. They want the bad boy. So you don't even want, you want to get a bad boy to have a healthy relationship.
That's because we've been taught that the bad boy is dangerous and he can protect us and he'll stand up for us and all of that. See, the bad boy is the alpha male, and females are drawn to the alpha male. So I'll put up with his bad boy activities because I want to have his babies, so they'll have that genetic alpha material.
Oh, Jesus.
I look good with him. You see what I'm saying? It's in us to want to have things a certain way, but we don't count up the cost and we don't do the work.
We had a couple that came to us and they were comparing themselves to a couple that, like you were saying, was in all these Fiji and everywhere else, all these trips, got beautiful pictures. But we knew the couple that was on all them trips had a horrible relationship. And that's all they had is they're traveling. Right. And you're comparing yourself to this. You don't know the other side of that picture. Right. No. You know what I'm saying? She wrote something else. But hey, Miss Payton, how are you? All right. Yeah, you don't know the other side of that picture. We spend so much time putting on the best front, and I want to be like Marc and Mildred because they this and they that, but you don't know what they got going on in their house.
Listen, that movie thing is so serious. I remember we went to a movie to see one of the romantic comedies, and it did have a happy ending, and the people in the movie theater were genuinely upset, like. You remember that?
No,
I'm talking about.
They wanted their money back.
I'm like, wait a minute, this supposed to have a happy ending.
Well, listen, but I don't remember. I don't remember what movie it is.
I don't remember what it was. It was one of them happy, romantic comedies.
Well, but that's the thing. We want a happy love story, but we don't want the good boy. We want what we've seen on TV, but that's not realistic, where he just gonna go buy you a bunch of cars and houses and stand outside with a car with a bow on it. Now, that's not really how that works. I mean, you can get that, but we got the budget and plan to get, make sure we got these kids taken care of first. That's why I say our goals were different when we were first married. We had small kids and a blended family. That's a lot of work. When you bringing in all these different households and trying to get this together, and I was a little bit of a mess.
Well, the question becomes the things that we do, and then they talk about the actions of walking the talk, talking the talk of love. Walking the talk. Mm-hmm. It's a matter of doing things. Love is a feeling. We think of love as a feeling, but love is an attitude, which requires action. Mm-hmm. So all of these things we're talking about
requires
action. And if you are taking action in your relationship and it's not working out, did it stem from this definition of love? Did it stem from a place of love, or did it stem from a place of regret, need, pain, hurt, anger, dysfunction, neediness? Because that is not love.
I was a little needy too.
So in anything that you come up with when you're in a place of hurt is going to be colored or tempered with that hurt. Yeah. We talked about building boundaries. If you erect your boundaries from your pain, then that boundary is made up of pain. And it's difficult for love to get across pain and regret and rejection.
Listen, one of the ladies today said that when she got rid of the guy that was beating on her, she was so used to the dysfunction and the hostile home life that she ended up start calling him because she was just used to
attention.
Chaos.
Yes, and she needed that attention, and he would give it to her, but at what cost?
Right. Oh my God!
See, that's what you missed too, because she was like, "Oh, he called me 100 times a day." It was that attention.
She said he called me 100 times. She said I thought it was good that he was in love with me, and that showed how much he loved me.
That
But I
ain't
didn't
love.
realize it was controlling.
Yeah,
Like
that
nobody
ain't love.
wants. I mean, 100 times a day,
That's too
like
much.
for real. Without
But see, if we don't have people in our group, in our community, in our circle, that will tell us and reflect what healthy relationships are and what they look like, then we don't know. You know, a lot of times we can't look to a generation or relative or peers. We just can't. So we have to have these conversations, and we have to walk it down and work it out. And the best way is to do that with people who are committed to moving forward and be doing this better.
right.
We're not perfect, but we're committed to doing the best things or the better things to become better people.
And then walk away with what a definition of what love is and what it looks like. And I know that there are a lot of people that maybe don't believe in the book. They don't believe in the word, you know, but the book,
No, you say the book. You got the
the
people
book,
like
the Bible. Let me say that the book of
Yeah,
books.
because you always say the book. People like the book. Look for
The
me.
book of, look, when we say the book, we're talking about the book of books, because that's what what Bible means. It means the book. So
The books.
So we're talking about the books.
Right.
Okay, but
Your
you know,
books.
yes.
Big blows.
So Corinthians 13 talks about love. And if love does not fall into those things, love is kind. Love
It doesn't keep count. That's the one that's still.
If you can look at that scripture and determine what love is, then if I'm looking for somebody, if somebody's looking for me, first of all, we're gonna have to filter you through those words.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I don't need a bad boy. You know, if anything that treats me bad, I don't need you hitting me. You know, because that is not love. So anybody that defines abuse as love, you got a misconception of what love is.
Sometimes they've seen it though. I think that lady said that her
husband's dad was beating on his mama.
I'm saying, but but if you saw
I understand the dysfunction. I understand.
I'm saying sometimes they don't know that they're in dysfunction.
That's why this is so important.
Right.
It is, that's why Love Alive. Y'all can find them on Facebook. They do personal sessions via Zoom and stuff. Listen, there's too many resources for life that can help you. They can't do it for you, but give you the tools that you need. Yeah. Look, I call Mildred and she be like, "What's going on?" I'm like, she be like, "You're not obligated to do that. Now you need to think through this." I'd be like, "Yes, ma'am." Because sometimes you get caught up in your emotions and you don't really process what is going on. I gotta read the comment too. Hold on. The comment says, "Without educating ourselves on any subject puts us at a critical disadvantage." Now that's true. That's facts.
And we live in an age of information, and we understand so little. Yes. So we need guidance. So don't dismiss wisdom. Don't dismiss the words of your elders or the words of your wise friends. Now, I'm going to go back to this correction on people of the book. We use that term as an inclusive term because when we say the book, we are talking about the Bible. Mm-hmm. And people of the book covers Jews, Muslims, and Christians.
Okay.
All three of those religions say Abraham is their father. Do they not?
I don't know.
Yes, they do.
Well, you told me.
So people of the book, the foundation of all three of those world religions have foundation in that book. So when I say people of the book, I'm talking about people who say they are influenced by the truths and the principles in this book.
Okay.
So that covers it. It doesn't matter your denomination, the name of your church.
Southern Baptist.
Missionary
Baptist Church.
2 rocks on the side of the road.
But if you define your religious beliefs based upon the stuff in that book, you are people of the book. Whether you're Jewish,
there you go.
You're Islamic or you're
not
Christian.
Facebook. No, not Facebook.
Not Facebook.
That is not the book.
No.
That's not the book. So.
But listen, I'm just grateful that I have a connection with you guys personally, that we were able to call you, because what you said this morning, like I said, it struck conversation with Cedric and I'm like, we talking and listening to, you know, and trying to go. I really wish we'd have had more time. But people need these kind of conversations. They need couples and they need people that can help them. That's going to give them the truth. And a lot of times in life, we don't have people in our lives that give us the truth. They give us what we want to hear. And so I do know that Marc and Mildred will give you the truth. Marc will say some stuff and cut you, and you don't know you cut to about 20 minutes later. Be like, what did he say? I was stupid. Listen, he said a whole bunch of words. Wait a minute. Instead of like, you just got there, I was like, ooh.
That was a loose interpretation.
Listen, that was loose, but look, you need people in your life that will correct you, that will help you, that will guide you. Look, I was having issues with my sciences. Martin told me to press here. He done got on the phone, had me FaceTime. I'm doing the eyebrows and doing here. I ain't remember the right direction, but I did feel the press release. I tried to get Cedric to do it. Each time I don't feel nothing.
I didn't have look, if I don't have pressure on my sciences, I ain't gonna feel.
But I like the fact that I could just call it, because at one time I hadn't called in a little while, and I was kind of going through a little funk. And Mildred was like, I'm here. I mean, I'm just so used to people calling me, you know, in their rough times, that I don't usually call people. So to have somebody that will call, that I can call, that will, you know, just be there, a real genuine connection. What love is, it's not based on what we're doing, because we're a bunch of ways away. Somebody
says, haha, I just said that about Marc today.
Honey, listen, Kimberly, Marc, we was talking one time, and I don't know, I was calling myself making a little joke, because you know we be all joking around. We wasn't in no session now. We'll be on FaceTime or something, the four of us. And I said something funny, and he said something, and I was like, wait. I said, Marc, you just cut me, and then something like you just got there. Shut up. It was so delayed, Jesus. I was like, Lord, and he do it all the time. I be trying to be ready for it to see if I can't never see it coming.
No, see, when Marc talk, he make you gotta listen.
Listen. Like that crabs in a bucket.
Oh yeah, that was it.
What Salter say? You done
bless
my whole life. Listen, you just don't think about the stuff that he brings forth, and I just like when people impart wisdom, because so often you get people that, first of all, people don't want to listen. I know everything. I don't care how long we've been married. You can learn something from somebody.
You can tell that brother Marc ponders on things.
He ponders, yes. He talked like my daddy. My daddy's tone is down, so you gotta listen to him. My dad's like, if people holler, don't elevate your voice. You keep your voice, that they go to bring their voice down and hear what you're saying. Yeah, my dad's like, you be like, he be like this, and I'm like, what you saying? Okay, you don't hush.
What he say?
You be fussing with my sister. So I got to. Okay, he ain't gonna, because he not gonna elevate it. You gonna bring it down. Listen to me, because I'm not gonna come up to your level where you at.
Well, it's
Kimberly says it to you again, little Marc.
He's my godfather, and he is as raw as they come.
Honey, your godfather will cut you. He like, you know, remind me of that ninja. We was watching that movie. Remember the dude? He had to cut him up, and he didn't realize that they got bleeding. And then the dude was like, he's like, I was like, that's how I do when Marc talked to me.
I think you got me.
That is what he said. So he said, I think you, but it was a subtitle like, I think you got me.
It's too late. You already leaking.
You got me. I thought I was faster than that.
Thought he got away. Nah,
I'm gonna go die now. Listen, I love it.
Let me end it with this, because you asked the question early and it was in my mind. I just couldn't pull it. Who wrote the song Don't Want to Miss a Thing? Her name is Diane Warren. She's an American songwriter, and she's written a lot of songs. You know, she wrote If I Could Turn Back Time for Cher.
I can turn back time. Okay.
She wrote Because You Love Me for Celine Dion.
What? That's my jam.
She wrote Unbreak My Heart
by Tony Braxton. Unbreak my heart.
She get into the bag.
Yeah.
She really get into the bag.
For sure.
See? So yeah, so she
Marc and your random facts.
Hey, I just have access to
look, Cedric, you used to tell me random facts.
Well, you know what? One of the young ladies that we're connected to called him Mr. Google.
Listen, between Jerry and Mark, I don't need to Google nothing. Listen, you ask Jerry anything about civil rights or anything like his history, he gonna tell you who the first seed was planted. And you be like, how do you in 1840? Like he know the dates and times. It's so specific. I'm like, how do you remember? The stories be just so detailed. I'd have to study that about 20 years before I can tell you a story. And if you get me off course, I'm gonna forget where I was. But hey, everybody's built different.
Yeah.
Everybody got a purpose.
Everybody got
Love Alive. I know it says Marc and Mildred on there, but Love Alive. Find them on Facebook. Connect with them.
Yes.
Listen, if you got some stuff, talk to them. They'll help y'all. Cause we on break.
Go on now.
Go on now.
Yeah.
We'll do our lives on Saturday now.
We'll pray for you.
And we'll pray for you. But some people need Marc and Mildred.
Yeah.
Mark gonna cut you. Listen, what Delary say in Hollow Nights? Talking about you done shot me my finger, so I got to cut you. That's the rule. Mark gonna cut you. Yeah. Mark is going to cut you with his words, not literally.
Yeah.
But
get you where you need to be.
But really, Love Alive. Connect with them. Put it in the chat, child, so people can see when they watch this on the replay.
Oh, the book too. The book.
Oh, the book B. I put it on my page, but it's a long time ago. I have to go back and find it. Yes, B. Child, they talk about what you need to have a conversation with when you first go on the date. Okay. I ain't know all that stuff was in the list. On the list. There you go. There go B.
Yeah.
That's her daughter on the cover. So they not only have a loving marriage, they got some wonderful children. Look, her son was here in a little while ago playing for CC Winans. He be traveling all over. They musicians. They be doing their thing. They're collected too.
They're collected.
Listen, we listen to everything over here. When I say everything, my daughter, I don't know what she might, because she was in there listening to she like Frank Sinatra. She playing on record. I was like, girl, if you don't turn that mess down, if I throw something at you, I'm gonna go in there and scratch your record.
Tell my niece I said hello.
What you said?
Tell my niece I said hello.
Chanel, come say hello.
She was sitting here the whole time.
She was sitting the whole time. You hear my dad? What she said that Mark said to me? She said that to preach. Yeah, no, Sister Libby said about those movies.
All in the live, in the way.
Get behind Jack. They can't see you. Look here. This needs some. She needs some marriage, some premarital counseling. That's how you go. That's what we're gonna send you to.
Yeah.
Right there. You better be ready. You ready?
I don't know. I get my feelings hurt pretty easy.
You heard her. She get her feelings hurt pretty easy. I told her before you talk about.
I tell you, he might hurt your feelings. I'll smooth you over. How about that?
Sounds good.
Listen. So she like her feelings. He like a Jerry.
Oh gosh.
Uncle Jerry don't really cut you like that.
He just tell corny jokes.
Yeah, he tell corny jokes.
He's a corny joke man.
He does tell.
Yeah, Uncle Jerry tell a whole bunch of corny jokes. Lord Jesus,
they're pretty bad.
Don't do that. Don't do him like that.
Pretty bad. That's my guy, but they pretty bad.
He will try the same thing. Same 22 years I've been alive. The same thing.
They're pretty bad.
But anyway, really, I of course, I talked to her about different things, but I was saying you got to make sure you're in a place before you talk about marriage where you can be honest with each other. And I say make sure your man can be honest with you. She has Brock, and we really like Brock, but that you can take the honesty and not be mad and shut down on him and not talk to him.
Yep, I do good.
No,
it's a work in progress, but I've been doing
good. We listen.
We
definitely gonna refer them to you.
Wait, I do good for the most part, but sometimes I gotta catch myself. I'm like, okay, he's just trying to tell me something about myself that I ain't seen. But I have to come back a couple of minutes or 30 minutes later and be like, you know,
you said a couple minutes. Let's call Brock. A couple minutes.
30 minutes or 30 days?
30 days.
I say like 30 minutes. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry.
So we gonna send you over there to your new uncle right there. Go, that's where you go. Because I done talked some blue in the face. I give my, and she'll repeat what we've said, but you know that transparent. I often say vulnerability. That transparency. You know, I was taking notes. I take notes. I would tell word that transparency that you need to have a healthy relationship. Uncle Mark will talk to you about that.
Yeah, about the communication.
Look how she looking. Sending her your way.
Yeah. What?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Listen. Oh, it's past the 14th. So it's not your Black History Month no more.
No,
They told her
I only get half.
They told her she only get half of Black History Month. Because she mixed. That's what the people on TikTok did, and they said if you mix, you only get half. You only get half of Black History Month. So your time over.
It's over.
I
still support from afar.
Wow.
We're gonna close down, but I really, really, really appreciate anything else you want to say in parting.
No, just keep love alive.
Follow love alive.
Yes, keep love alive. Don't take everything personal when somebody does something to you, and make sure that you are walking the talk of love.
Listen what she's saying.
Turn around, baby.
Walking the talk with love. I just had crick in my neck. But yes, thank you so much. We're gonna close. Oh my God, one more thing. Tell that melanated baby she can have the whole month. So they told you can have the whole month.
Appreciate it.
That's right. You've been grandfathered in for the whole month now.
I love to be grandfathered in.
So it's still Black History Month for you.
I'm trying to tell you, because back in the day, if I have one drop of black in me, I'm a slave. I may be a house slave, but I'm a slave.
And look, Dustin talking about tell that melanated baby. That baby, I don't know about that melanated now. She got a little. You got a little bit. They always think she's Spanish.
I look
that's my melanated baby.
I look darker than the other ones. That's okay with me.
Yes, the other two, they don't look like they belong at all. They asked me why I was a nanny when I used to go pick Sean up from school.
No, I had them in the mall one time, and you went in the bathroom, and that lady said, "I don't know what she told you, but them ain't your babies." I said, "Are they not?"
You know, it was a black lady that went and told said that them is not your babies.
I don't know what she told you, baby. Them ain't yours. I said, "They're not."
You so extra, so extra.
You know how to mess with you. They not. You sure?
We get ready to go. Listen, thank you again. We not mean to go this long, but I appreciate it.
Right.
Let me say a quick prayer. Lord, we thank you for this time that we've had together, Lord. Lord, we pray that the information that's been received today, the conversation will bless someone's relationship and their marriage and their life, Lord. If they're getting ready to be married, they want to be married, Lord, help them to take this definition of love and the scriptures that apply, Lord, to see that they are where they need to be, Lord, and that you would send the appropriate person for them, Lord, not to be anxious, not to marry just because they want to, Lord, but that you have the right person for them, Lord, that there is a healthy relationship, there is Black love, there is good marriages out there, Lord, and we want to just pray over them and cover them and keep them. In Jesus' name, amen.
Right. Thank you to Marc and Mildred Clark, Love Alive, for joining us at this last moment.
Look, I wish I had a clapping.
Amen.
Right. We'll give them a round of applause.
Oh my gosh. Listen, as we leave, the lady came out of the table at the conference and she said, Black love? Is there such a thing? Look at this, like, what?
Going on now.
The look Cedric gave was hilarious. My sister tell her about your life. Cedric said, no, she didn't go on. We right here telling we married over 20 years. You gonna talk about?
She already talking crazy.
It's a Black lady. Is there such a thing? No, baby, you go over there.
You go on now.
Look at about your own.
Look,
you got people.
Listen,
I got some people.
We need to let her go ahead and watch Family Feud. She don't need to be on this live.
You know it. You're so silly. Have a good night. Thank you guys for joining us. Dustin Jones, Kimberly, get your godfather, Lord. Something wrong with him, I promise you. And I saw your lady that does. Okay. What's the lady name that y'all?
Carolyn.
What's her name?
Sherilyn.
I don't see it.
I
did see her on there, but
did you?
They have
coaching.
Talk to the coaches.
Explain about it so people can join, because I'll put it on the page next time.
Okay, Talk to the Coaches is where a group of coaches come together collabing. We're a group. We come together once a month, the fourth Saturday of every month from 11 to 12:30. And you have an opportunity to receive free coaching during this period. So anyone that wants to come and join is welcome to join.
They have topics too. Like when me and Cedric go.
Yeah, we have topics.
Don't forget the difference though. You gotta tell them about the time.
Oh yeah, because it's Eastern Standard.
Oh yes, it's
11 Eastern Standard Time.
It's 11 to 12:30 CST time, Central Standard Time. So that's going to be 12 to what, 1:30?
1:30 our time.
So next time she
Yeah.
sends it to me, I'll put it on the page. I'm just telling you, this is good conversation. I really,
It really
that's,
is. It
that's
really
how
is.
this
So,
guy. Listen, that's what sparked this whole thing.
Right.
If they ain't come on here, I was gonna try to have a conversation. It wasn't gonna be as meaningful with all the fun facts over here with Brother Mark, but I mean, we was gonna try it. So
sometimes you gotta give it the old college try.
you know,
yeah. And
let's-
I encourage people to just take advantage of what's out there
yes,
and available for you to learn and to glean from.
Love Alive.
Love
Join
Alive
today.
and talk to the coaches.
And talk to the coaches, yes. But if you join Love Alive,
And get the book.
if you get the book, if you join Love Alive, you can see all the times when the coaches, because she put it on there,
Right.
and you'll have an opportunity to get the book. So just go join Love Alive, it's the group or the page. Which one you want to do?
Both.
The
Okay, so
tribe.
do both.
Both
Because she
of
put all both of them with an F.
BOFUMB, both of them.
Both.
Oh, let me see the babies.
Wait a minute. Wait. Come here.
Hey.
Let me see the babies.
Ooh, girl.
Ooh,
Now
yeah.
you're gonna be clowning. I'm not gonna let you sit up here. Come on.
Hey.
Say hi. No. Okay.
Uh-huh.
She's shy.
Chanel used to be shy.
Yeah.
It's
that's
gone.
over with. Yeah, it's over
She's not shy.
I said Chanel used to be shy. She is gone. You
with. All right.
okay? Dora, thank you so much. She said great conversation.
Yeah.
Have a good night. I gotta go feed my husband before I be on getting the counseling session. Bye. Bye. She
Good
went
night.
live.
All right.
Good night.